Aloha Cupcakes. Today we're going to be working with the Wizard Black Widow. These are little tiny scrolling brushes. Let's see what they can do. So let's start with, I'm going to palette in a cup because it's scrolling and I need to make sure that I have consistency with my paint. I'm going to use, or I am using Alpha 6's, just Alpha Blue, a little bit of reducer, and that's it. I'm not adding anything to it. I'm just going to run with it and see what happens. There's a little bit of static in this thing, though. That's probably not helpful. Now, the brush itself has a sharp, pointy tip, which probably needs to get trimmed. I'm not doing that for this video because honestly, I've never trimmed a scrolling brush. Not correctly, I should say. I've messed them up a few times, but I'm going to leave this one alone for now because I just want to give this one a shot. Let's see what we can make this thing do. So I've got the paint consistency pretty correct, and this thing holds a lot of it. So it is definitely pulling some thick lines, which is kind of fun. I can work with that. I needed to practice with this one a bit, I think. I ran with one of the other brushes the other night just to give it a shot. And it took me probably about 20 minutes just to get used to the way that it flows. So a little bit of rehearsal probably was in order for this one, but I really just wanted to clean it out and see how it goes. Now, it did flare out a little bit on me right here, so I had to repalette and keep going. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Because this is the 00, so it shouldn't hold nearly as much paint as the number 2 gauge did that I used the night before. But it seems to be holding up fine, so I think it was just me flaring out in that spot. And while there's a little bit of a drag with it, just to stay on the tip, meaning that it's not as snappy as some of the other brushes. So I feel like the brush is a lot further behind where I'm looking. So that's something that I got to get used to a little bit. It's kind of like dragging a trailer behind you. Whereas like most of the other paintbrushes are a little bit more like a boat rudder, that it's behind, but not a lot behind. This one has a lot more behind to it. And with this weird tip, I'm not 100% proficient with the starting point on this thing. But it is pulling curves really, really well. Like, they're not entirely what I want them to be. But at the same time, I'm liking the way that it looks, if that makes any sense. And then the way that it tapers off when I pull the brush away, because I know that I'm a little bit behind and I know that it's probably got another 1/4 inch to go before it actually stops dumping paint, it pulls off in a really clean tip. Like it goes from a very like thick spot in the line to a very, very sharp tip. And I like the way that it does that. Though I could see with like the thicker brush that it probably has a little bit more of a fade to it versus a sharp pointy tip. So the 00 is pulling a very sharp tip. So it's yeah, I probably could stand to work with this one a bit more before I do this, but I think with enough practice, this one will be a very clean brush. I like the way that it flows. I will say for my big oven mitt size hands, though, this little handle is not my favorite. I've grown accustomed to the medium handles, and I have a couple of them that are extra thick, just so I don't have that problem. So if you got bigger hands, this handle, put some tape on it or something, because it needs just a little extra, just so I'm not pinching it. And that's not so much the length of this handle, although I would prefer it to be a little bit longer just so I know where it is. But it's more just that it's super thin. So just a little bit of extra on there will fix that. The 2 gauge brush is, in fact, proportionally larger. So that one's a little bit more comfortable, even though I prefer it to be about this gauge. So, anyhow, those are just me issues. Those are not you issues. Unless you're 6'1", you're a weightlifter and you're around like 280 pounds, then these are probably the same issues you'll have. Normal people, not so much. Big gorillas, probably gonna have it. Now, I want to do a couple of these lines here where I pull it and just let it fade. Starting at the tip of it, it it definitely has its own specific shape. So you kind of have to already be moving when you drop this one. Not necessarily up to the full speed that you're going to pull the line, but you do need to already be in motion when you drop the tip of this one. And I can see how that might change your accuracy, and that's kind of a little goofy right in here. But the second and fourth one, or the third and fourth, the last two of those that I did worked out pretty well. So you'll just have to get a feel for it while you're working with it, because it's you just got to get a feel for it. Now, one thing that I'm doing is I'm doing clockwise and counterclockwise, and I'm alternating. That's why I'm moving back and forth around the paper, because I just kind of scribbled out a design real quick. But I want to make sure that I'm alternating between them rather than trying to be consistently doing one or the other just to see. And it's really just I make sure that I'm seeing what my favored side is doing in comparison to my less favorite side, if that makes any sense. I am typically right-handed, and I can do my work with my left hand. So I tend to favor right-handed type of turning, mostly because there's a kink in my wrist. But I can do the left-handed turning, and I can do it with my left hand. So I have like a favorite, I guess. So I wanted to make sure that I was alternating between both my favorite and my less favorite. Now, some of these longer pulls, it gets very, very thin and very fine. And it's consistently fine. So let's try one more over here where I'm going to start thick and just pull all the way out to it. Hey, it kind of faded. Okay, never mind. That one needed to be loaded up a little bit better. And then I need to palette this tip a little bit, because it does, with it being a pointy tip, I kind of have to sharpen the tip a little bit before I go to pull things like that. And I'm going to try I'm curious. I want to see if I can do some basic lettering with this one. And I probably should have drawn some letters before I tried to do this, because I'm already screwing it up. It can be done. I can see how this brush will do it. It's just I needed some guidance as to where the lines are going to be, and this sharp tip makes the starting of each point a little tougher for me. So I guess if it was drawn out already, I probably could do this a whole lot better. So I mean, it kind of, I can clean it up a little bit. I can't clean it up a lot of it. It's not. All right, let's try. I'm just going to try the letter A. I dislike the letter A almost as much as I dislike the letter S. And it's that weird little top part. Like if you do like certain fonts, it doesn't have the little top part on it. That one's fine. But it's the this tip's kind of flare. Okay, I'm gonna go backwards. We'll be fine. But this little top part here, even when it's drawn out, I don't think it looks right. At least when I do it. I think I do it wrong 100% of the time. But this brush is not helping. So, hey, Spat. Yeah. Here, let's do this. There you go. I think that is a good description of what I'm doing over here. Although I do like the way that it pulls for like the tails for the accents. I may keep this one for that purpose. I'm wondering what would happen if I did like a script font and I was actually to use this as the accent. Now I'm changing it up, and I'm going to try doing some just basic design work, because I do my symmetrical designs with scrolling brushes just as much as I do with the sword stripers. Especially if it's in a weird or awkward place where I can't look directly down on it. It makes being symmetrical a little bit easier on me. And this one consistently starts with a heavier line and pulls to a thinner line. I think that's if that's the style I'm going for, I think that's fine. But if you want to have that consistent, like, same line gauge throughout all of it, I don't think that this is I don't think this would be my favorite brush for that. Because even just pulling these ones and trying to do a slower start on it, it's still got that little bit of a nubby end on it. But I can still do design work with these. That's fine. The shorter handle definitely gives me a little bit more versatility with it. Okay, some of these, like if I start any curve, it definitely starts with a cleaner tip to it. So yeah, I could do that with these. These are fine. So yeah, I think this is. I probably need to work with this one a little bit more. I may revisit this for a different video. I think what we'll do is we'll try this with the even, because this is the middle brush in the set. I think what I'll do is I'll work a little bit with the thicker and the thinner gauges, and just see what I can pull out of them. And I'll probably do a follow-up video for that, and I'll get back to you guys on this one, because there's other things going on. So that, and I'm going to give this one a couple weeks, and then I'll revisit this one. I'll see if see if I've improved with it a little bit, because I think that the more I work with this one, the more comfortable I will get with it. Yeah, so I'll give this one a shot. I'll revisit this one in a couple of weeks. I'll actually schedule it on purpose. Well, that was pretty quick, actually. I was able to knock out a... Fuck. It was dumb, yeah? So there we have it. That is what the Wizard... Stop doing that. So there you have it. Fuck. Would he... Stop. How do I make this stop doing that? I just need it to film. Whatever, dude. Here. Let's crank this a little more. More in the upward direction. There we are. That's a little better. Yeah? So here we are. This is the... So there you have it. The black... Fuck, I can't... Okay, let's try that again. The Wizard Black Widow. The Wizard Black Widow. So there we are. That is the Wizard Black Widow. That is the scrolling brush. I think the handle is a little bit short for what I'm used to, but I most definitely can work with it. And I mean, that came out okay, I think. Is it my favorite brush? It can grow on me, but for now, I think this is something that you're going to have to try for yourself. And put it in the comments. Let me know how this brush works out for you. Till next time, stay moist, my friends.